So your girl was going through it this summer. Okay. A lot of stuff was happening this summer, and yeah. So this is a art creative mosaic soul life update. So been MIA, but your girl was going through it this summer. So I lost my, as you can see the title of this video, I lost my stability temporarily, and now I've completely navigated back out of contrast and quote unquote setbacks, and life is looking good, but it wasn't looking that good, right? I was on the valley of the roller coaster, and you know. So let's dive into it, you guys. Let's dive into it. So welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachael Alexander. I'm an artist and mosaic soul mentor, aka Mosaic Soul. Basically a passionate, multi-talented, multidisciplinary artist and spiritual being living in this human experience, life be lifing. And so I'm just sharing my journey. So what went down this summer? So basically my home situation was a little bit unstable this past summer because I had this whole like infestation before. I don't really like to recap the old stuff, but I had manifested some situation where I couldn't really live in my home for like a month or two. And so I had to stay with my mom, and I stayed with my mom for about a month and a half or whatever. And also at that time, roller coaster on the whole relationships thing, moving in with people, being in somebody else's space. That was kind of challenging, and that of itself, and being sort of uprooted from your home environment, that was kind of crazy. And at the time, I really, even though I have such a positive mindset internally, because my body will tell you, know, like you can mentally do a lot of mental work, and I've done a lot of mental work and a lot of stuff just being a coach myself. But internally, to some degree, I was feeling defeated, and I knew I had created the situation, but I was feeling defeated, like I was under spiritual attack or something, and everything was falling apart all at once at that moment. And so like I had just finished like my vision boards at the time and was about to embark on my new daily schedule, and then bam, all this stuff literally just happens all at once. You know, it's just like, what the hell is going on? Like it was a cascade of like tests and challenges that I had created for myself that I needed to maneuver through for some reason. So, but you know, the funny thing, hindsight 2020, now looking back at it, like it was beautiful. It was a beautiful blessing in disguise, if you will, you know. And so where I'm at right now is that I realized that in that moment in time, I was literally, it's sort of like, you know, something that you kind of learn in spirituality as well as in coaching. Like there's the sort of the call, you know, when you receive the call to move forward towards your dreams, and the next phase is like challenges and tests and trials and tribulations. And so it felt like that was something I had created for myself to some degree. And I realized that at that point I was sort of in an energetic low vibration, and I kept watching. It's not that I was watching dark stuff, but I was definitely in a moment in time where I was listening to a lot of people around, you know, energetic things that weren't in vibrational alignment with myself, you know. And I hadn't really quite gone into victim mode, and I pretty much stayed positive, but like for the most part, but on a day-to-day basis, I was letting like outside voices and the negativity of the world kind of get under my skin and influence my thought processes, you know, way more than I had really done in the past. So like in the past, most of the time I live in a bubble, right? Like I talked about this several times. A lot of times I live in a bubble, but for some reason during the summer, I was just really outside of my bubble and listening to the world and the news and like what's going on, and like being influenced and listening to other people. And it was just a lot of stuff, right? Energetically that was going on, and I was like tapped into it way more than I would normally be. So what I did to get out of that funk was I needed to recalibrate my energy, right? And like decided to take my power back really, and to really just start like, you know, watching other spiritual teachers that really reminded me of who I am, watching some of my old videos reminding myself of who I am and like, you know, starting to create more music, create more art, and all that other stuff, right? And so after doing that, I started shifting back into the mindset of freedom, regardless of my outside circumstances, and moved into the knowing that, you know, abundance is at its very core is my true nature, right? And so I had to like really reshift my identity back to my divine soul true self rather than the little Rachael character that I'm playing at this point in time, which is perfectly fine. Because I think I got too caught up into the Rachael character and the Rachael narrative, so much so that, you know, fear was like in my subconscious, like leading my subconscious, you know what I mean? But it's like so funny though, because it feels like, right? Now that I'm thinking about it and reflecting on it, like hindsight 2020, it feels like those trials and tribulations that I went through, like I'm kind of on the other side, like, and just moving to the, like the next phase in my journey or whatever. So it's really funny. Hindsight 2070. So, when I shifted my identity back to like my divine soul true self, right? Like the little human unwanted life experiences that I was having started to diminish, and then I like tapped back into synchronicity and abundance, and things just started falling back into place, falling back into line. I made some crucial decisions. You know, I'm actually planning an event that's coming up, and hopefully I can get some footage and take you guys along with me on my journey with that. But like I started painting more, you know, doing some more art, and just doing a whole bunch of creative things, you know, and preparing for this live event that I'm having, my first live event that I've had in like, I don't even know how long, that I'm personally planning myself. And so I really started connecting with other like-minded artists and creatives on this journey. Like I performed at some open mics with 2 original songs and received really positive, really great feedback. And I had a couple more things in the pipeline that is really moving me closer to my goals of becoming a quote-unquote part-time artist, making a full-time income. And one of the reasons why I want to talk about part-time artists / full-time income is because I'm not really about that work life hustle hard culture thing. Like that's not I really love free time, and I really love to, like, I feel like as human beings, as souls having this human experience, at least for me, I can only speak for my journey, I came here to bask and to enjoy life and take things day by day and follow my heart. And in order for me to do that, I need a lot of free time and spaciousness. And so that's why I don't really subscribe to the whole full-time artist, full-time income. I more so subscribe to part-time artist, full-time income, you know? So, you know, there's this one CEO business mentor that I listen to, and one of the things he says a lot is, the less I do, the more I make. And I really love that. I'm like, yes, I love that. The less I do, the more I make. I'm gonna move fully into that reality. So that's the whole mindset behind part-time artists, full-time income. Is not because I don't want to work hard, because a lot of times I end up spending hours and hours creating, either in the studio on my music or in art, but I don't like the pressure of having to do it in order to make things happen, in order for my well-being to be okay. You see what I'm saying? So that's all that thing. So let's talk about the things that I've learned in this past few months of this sort of valley of a roller coaster that I was on. And number one, I really learned to not let life circumstances dictate your inner access and to the state of freedom that's always available to us, right? To the inner state of freedom, joy, happiness, and love, right? These states are all our natural states of being when we remember who we truly are, and not let life, you know, whether things go your way or don't, determine whether or not you're going to be happy or feel peaceful. You know what I mean? And that's something I got off the roller coaster ride of a long time ago. So even though like my life was sort of in this valley versus this peak, like I've learned to really start to like even keel for a while now, but it really helped reinforce that, like, no matter what, because contrast is a part of the game here, you know? And so it really reinforced that, like, staying in peace no matter what comes, whether it's stormy, sunshine, or whatever, you know what I mean? The other thing I learned was, don't let outside conditioning, worldly influences, or other people push their negativity onto you. Everybody has a perception of what you should and shouldn't be doing with your life, or how the world should and shouldn't be, and how you should think or how you shouldn't do, and, you know, and yes, there's a lot of darkness in the world and negative energy on this planet, but that's a part of this game called planet Earth, you know, and it doesn't mean that there isn't equal or even more amount of positivity, joy, love, and light and abundance, you know. And so it's all about what you focus on. What do you want to focus on? What do you want to bring more about in your life? You know what I mean? So yeah. And then the third lesson I learned was, shift your focus and choose abundance, right? like as your state of being, right? Like that's the thing that I was really locking in for me, you know, even though I was in sort of this valley of life, roller coaster, right? And know that I am that I am. And in essence, you are that you are, right? In essence, the source that we all come from is inevitably abundant. So what we focus on, we get more of, right? And use gratitude as a tool. Like, even though I was sort of in the state of being, I still had a roof over my head. Thank God I have family members that I could lean on, you know what I mean? That I still was able to feed myself, and that I was able to figure out, you know what I mean? And just move out of this state of like, you know, everything seeming to crumble at once, you know? And then moving back into my natural state of abundance and not letting things, just like a duck, letting water roll off my back, you know? And then the other thing I learned was to create, right? So being in a low vibrational state, you can utilize these emotions to create cathartic art, music, poetry, etc., right? And in that process, allow yourself to feel and process your emotions and let your creations heal you, right? I wrote so many poems and really good songs this summer. Like, I'm so excited to share them with you guys. And that really healed me and helped me maneuver through these times, you know what I mean? So let your art, if you're a creative like me, heal you. You know, that's part of your medicine, you know. And then never give up, you know. Yes, there are entities, people, and energies that do not want you to succeed, but they only have power that you give them, right? Don't fall into the victim or hopelessness trap, because that's where you start to give your power away, rather than stay in the calm and confident knowing that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? Said no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work, right? So it's really good to know, like, it's like, and it's also another thing you start realizing is that what you focus on, you attract, right? So when you focus on people having negative energy towards you, or people not helping you out, or people da-da-da-da, or thinking all this kind of stuff, that's what you attract more of. But when you focus on, you know, I'm an abundant being, people like me, people are very helpful, you know, my life flows effortlessly, everything that I desire is already here. Like, when you start moving in that direction versus all the things you don't want, then you start attracting more of what you don't. So it's just the law of attraction, right? Like, what you focus on, you attract more of, right? So that is my update. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys along on my next journey. Hopefully I'll do maybe a vlog. I don't know, we'll see. I'm supposed to be renting a camera so this next week, so maybe I'll play with it a little bit more and see if I can get some vlog footage of behind the scenes of me putting together this live event that I'm hosting next weekend. So I hope you guys are well. Let me know how you guys, Mosaic Souls, are doing.